Happy Scorpio season, y'all. It is your girl, Amber the Alchemist. I just wanted to come through and give us some guidance from spirit, from my angels, from my ancestors and guides, for the collective, for us, for you, for me, for whoever is watching this. I thank you, infinite gratitude for you to even clicking on this video. Your spirit led you here. So for that, I thank you. And before we get started, I did want to say that if this reading resonates with you, or if you're just interested and you want to kind of see what a reading with me would be like, do it. Go for it. You can book a one-on-one tarot reflection with me. It's on Zoom. I get to see you. It's just me and you, and whatever questions your heart desires, or if you're just open to seeing what spirit has in store for you, which is my favorite and most of my clients' favorite in general. And if you're interested in just amplifying your space and just adding more intention, I definitely have a conjure shop. If you go to amberthealchemist.com/conjure, or just amberthealchemist.com, girl, you will find it. My conjure shop, where I have Reiki charged crystals, incense, other sacred goods for your home. And let's just get started, spirit. So let's see, what is the energy surrounding us for Scorpio season? Spirit, what is the energy surrounding the collective during the Scorpio season? What I want to say before I even pull a card is I'm getting a sense that we've been dating and it's cuffing season, and with cuffing season and the weather and the weather getting colder, and us already being home and pretty much quarantine, there's a lot of thoughts about our booze, and some of us started dating and really getting to know someone. And I feel that this might be for one person specifically, but I have to just share this. You and this other person, which I feel like is a man who could be a Scorpio, I don't know. He has a lot of love for you. You have a lot of love for this person. This person is very open with their emotions, but you still want more. There's a sense of clarity. You want a sense of direction. Where is this relationship going? What are your intentions with me? Can you see this really lasting? Are we wasting our times? And it feels that there's been a pause. There's kind of been a setback, whether it's distance, whether it's just that you guys had some type of falling out. But I feel that you two both made a commitment, or you made a commitment for someone else, but this relationship or this partnership was going to be, that person was going to be there with you. So whether this was a wedding, whether this is just the holidays and people are like, hey, I just want to do a head count. Are you and so-and-so coming? And this person is kind of nagging and tugging on you, but you really can't give them the answer right now because you don't even know yet where you and this person are yet in your relationship. And I feel that spirit is letting you know right now that it's time to figure it out. You've left enough time gone unsaid. Even if it's not having that conversation with that person, you need a sense of clarity within yourself. What is your heart telling you to do? What is your spirit tugging you to do? Does this make sense for you? Will this become a normal pattern to you? Those might be questions that might be running across your head, but you really need to make that decision for yourself first. I feel that you haven't stopped. I feel like you stopped talking to this person and there hasn't been any communication, and you're actually waiting for that person to reach out to you. And spirit is asking you to make that decision in your head first before either initiating that conversation or just beat them to the punch. Make sure that you have make sure that you sit with yourself and you have your mind and your heart already made up, so that when or if you do have this conversation with this person, you're not going to be swayed by the smooth talk. This person is a lover. This person is very charming, very romantic, and you don't want to get caught up in just the words that this person is saying. So spirit wants you to check in with yourself and you make that decision, and not allowing that person to make a decision for you, because at any given time you can opt out, but someone's putting some pressure on you due to just the circumstances. Someone's putting a little bit of unknown pressure on you for you to make that decision. Do it. I don't know who that's for, but I hope that you receive that message with love, and also know that whatever it was that was special within that relationship, I mean, we're all one of one, but also like next, you have options. I'm getting a sense that someone has options. Someone has a decision to make. Don't allow someone else to make a decision for you. Have agency, especially when it comes over your relationships, when it comes over your love life. Don't settle for something because it's cuffing season and you want to be booed up, or like you don't want to spend another year on Thanksgiving or on Christmas by yourself with your family. And you also don't want to have them questioning you. So some of us might actually be staying in situations that don't really feel right, but there might be some time that you're going to spend with your family and you don't want to let them down. So there's definitely some external pressure surrounding us. So the energy surrounding us, second chakra, so this is sacral chakra, and blossoming abundance. Spirit, can you elaborate on this message? Spirit, can you elaborate on this message for our sacral chakra? This is going to be a season where some of us are gaining our confidence, getting our swag back, feeling good about ourselves, definitely feeling a little sexy. And I also want to share too, the sacral chakra is connected to relationships, connected to our sexuality, our creativity. Try doing some kundalini meditation and also sex magic as well. I'm envisioning a lot of us utilizing the Scorpio moon to manifest through orgasm, through sex. That is pure energy. That's creation energy, whether that's manifesting something that you want with your partner or you actually want to make a baby. Be mindful of that this season. Spirit, can you elaborate on the second chakra? Yeah, some of us are holding on to the goods. So this sexual energy that I'm picking up on could just be cultivating that relationship with yourself, relearning your body. Some of you might be choosing to be celibate, but that does not mean that you cannot pleasure yourself and enjoy yourself. So don't turn your head down on that either, because we have this Nine of Wands energy. So there's definitely some defensive energy and also some Four of Pentacles energy, making sure that if you're withholding from sex, whether you're in a relationship or not, do it for the right reason. Do it because it's something that you want to do. Like, what's the purpose? If the purpose is so that you're not being judged by others about what you do in your alone time, that's definitely not a good enough reason to hold out on the goods. Don't reject yourself from pleasure. Be mindful of that, making sure that your needs are being met physically as well. Spirit, can you elaborate on this blossoming abundance? We have the Two of Swords and the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles reminds me of just alchemy. The King of Pentacles is an alchemist. He's one with his own personal power. He acknowledges his power as a co-creator with the divine. He acknowledges and takes accountability for his actions and his part. That's why he goes hard in everything that he does, because he knows that eventually the work, the emotional connection, the spiritual connection to set goals is going to get me somewhere. It's inevitable that it's going to happen if I put the work in. Scorpio season, you have to make a choice. Either you're going to do the work when you set these intentions, or just stay complacent. Like, it's really about making a decision. This is not a time to question if you're if your goals and the things that you want, some of this is also very spiritual. Some of us want to be spiritual gurus, and we want to be healers, and we want to do all of the things, but we forget that there's work that is attached to that. There's alchemy, which means transcending, using what we have to create something new. And you have to be willing to do that. And Scorpio season is reminding us that, one, of course, to do the work, but it's kind of pointless to set these intentions and set these goals if if our environment doesn't align with those things as well. Things have to be in order for you to get what you want. It has to be the right season. There has to be a certain amount of dedication. There has to be that emotional connection. And just, you have to be hungry for it. You have to do your research. You have to be committed. And it's like, some of us are wondering what's missing. What's missing is that we're not committed enough. So Scorpio season is really a time for us to make that decision if we're going to do the work or if we're going to continue to sit in patterns. Scorpio season also reminds us what dead weight that we're holding on to. You're going to be reminded this season, these next couple of weeks, you're definitely going to be reminded of what needs to be honed in on, or what you need to focus on, or what's just dead. It's just like plucking weeds at this moment. It's getting to the point where, does it make sense? Does it make sense for us to continue to pluck weeds and then plant new seeds? Or do we just end it right here? You tried. And some of us are going to be faced with making that decision. It's not quitting. It's just knowing that maybe whatever it is that you've been focusing on and it's not working, there has to be either something that you need to be doing on your part that you're being called to do, or it's just not the season. And it's not a no, it could just be a not right now. And some of us have to face that truth and know when to, and use your discernment and know when you're forcing something. Know when you're forcing something. What is the collective theme for this Scorpio season? What is the collective theme for this Scorpio season? Magic. It's so simple, but using this time for what it is, a time of transcendence, a time of spiritual connection, a time of mystical knowledge and esoteric wisdom, making sure that we work with the energies that are available to us in this moment. You don't want to allow this time to pass by, and comes February and you're like, damn, Scorpio season would have really been the perfect time for me to connect with my ancestors. It would have been the perfect time for me to do this or do that. Now is the time to really start. If you're interested in building a practice, cultivating a practice, working with your guides, creating a connection with your higher self, we're being called to build more confidence in that, right? Sacral chakra energy, feeling more confident and more empowered to actually get into the witchy shit. And some of that might not even be doing the do and doing the action behind it and like doing your spell work or doing your candle magic. It could just be seeking the knowledge, going down that wormhole on YouTube. I know we've all been there. We've all been there before. I just pulled the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles. The Lovers and Two of Pentacles. So there's this energy of, again, us wanting to live a more sacred life, live a life that is fueled by the divine, that is advocated by our ancestors, that is spirit-led, but it's just like, I don't have the time to do it. Where does this fit into my life? How can I integrate this into my life? Maybe you don't want to share these things with some of the people that are surrounding you, and that's the holdback. And it's just like, Are you going to choose to be about that life or not? And again, making that decision to embrace, yes, we are physical beings, but we're spiritual beings first. And without that sense of connectedness, without that connectedness to our spirit and to the divine, it's like we walk through the world with a completely different perspective and with a completely different lens. And with that comes blinders. With that comes not acknowledging that we're in a spiritual warfare. That with that comes not acknowledging that you need to be protecting your energy and you need to be cleansing your energy. There's certain things that when you don't walk with spirit, it gets swept up under the rug. And when those things happen, it also makes it easier for negative energies to come through and impact you in any way. And I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but this, let's just keep it 100. Living a more spiritual life doesn't require the elaborate rituals that you see on Instagram. It does not require you to adapt the practices of the people that you follow on social media. It just creates the desire. It just means that you are being open to connecting with the divine. You see the divine through all living things, whether that's through nature, whether that's through people that you love or people that you walk down the street, whether that's through the animals, the oceans, everything. We're all a reflection of one another. And it's time to embrace that duality within ourselves, the Scorpio season. It's time to acknowledge who we are as spirits and tend to that. What does that look like for you? Really making a decision on those things. Like, you might be focused on getting the bag, and maybe that's your fuel. Like, you want to attain a certain amount of wealth, acquire a certain amount of wealth. But if you use cinnamon more in your candle magic, or if you wanted to do this and that, like, you can use the elements and you can use herbs and plants and certain things to amplify those intentions. And it doesn't have to be something that you feel guilty about. It doesn't have to be something that you have to share with everyone either. So spirit really wants to remind us who we are as spiritual beings, and also remind us that at any given time we can connect. It's really like red or blue pill. Like, what way of life are you choosing to live? Are you choosing to live in the matrix, or are you choosing to transcend? And are you choosing to be emotionally and spiritually aware and accountable? There's pros and cons to both. I personally am choosing the route that nourishes all parts of me and my duality, my mind, my body, my spirit, my purpose, but also my coins. You can focus on all of these things at once, and spirit wants to remind you that this Scorpio season, finding different ways to implement more intention into the day-to-day, so that your days are purpose-filled. When they're purpose-filled, those days where they're not the best of days, you still live in gratitude, and you can still say, you know what? I am not feeling that great, but I thank you for giving me this day, and I am grateful enough to have chosen my peace, and hopefully I get another day to do it again tomorrow. And that's it. That's the essence. That's the essence. I'm also feeling like living in gratitude for the moments that don't feel that good either. This Scorpio season is going to be a reminder of that for us, especially because it reminds us of those that have transitioned. So there might be a lot of reflection about how the people that you loved live their lives, how you can continue their legacy, how you can connect to them as well. I want to see, spirit, what final messages do you have for the collective for this Scorpio season? You know I love my mini rider weights. 2 cards just flew out. Judgment and Queen of Cups. We are coming into a new age of enlightenment, a new level of consciousness as a collective. even though it may not feel like it for some of us, living in this 3D, because there's so many distractions, there's so much noise, we forget that we're also being led to this moment so that we can together grow and evolve as a species. We're being called to level up and grow spiritually. Queen of Cups is highly intuitive. She's the Scorpio. She's the Scorpio woman. She is emotionally mature. She's emotionally connective. Her intuition is her compass. And there's this calling. There's definitely this calling. And a lot of us have been feeling it. We've been feeling it for a really long time, but we just don't know where to begin. And Spirit doesn't want to put too much pressure. Spirit doesn't want us to put too much pressure on yourselves about how we connect to the divine and how we seek this wisdom or this knowledge when it comes to alchemy, because I'm getting that too. We want to know, like, we're acquiring a new level of consciousness, but we want to go from here to here, and we just have to remind ourselves that it's just small baby steps that lead us to get here. There's no possible way. We can't skip steps when it comes to our healing. We can't skip steps when it comes to alchemy. There has to be a foundation, and the foundation that you have is laid for you right now. So whatever you're feeling called to do, whatever you're feeling called to read, whatever you're feeling called to research, whoever you're feeling called to connect to, do so. Use this Scorpio energy to really remind yourself of how magical you truly are. And when you realize how magical you are, and when we all realize how magical we are, from that, it's like the sky's the limit. But that takes us seeing things through a new light. Again, which pill are we choosing? Are we choosing to live in the matrix or not? Wow, I really, really love this message. So I am going to end it with this. A little crystal prescription, Spirit. What do we need for Scorpio season? We are being called to get laser focus, balancing the things that we bring our attention and our energy into. We can't just be focusing and putting all of our attention and energy into one thing. Really embracing duality, embracing that we can focus on our accomplishments, we can focus on our family, but we can also focus on ancestral trauma and alchemizing that and healing that. And we can focus on discovering and unlocking what our purpose is. We can focus on all of these things at once, but you have to at least start. You have to at least start. And it begins with that desire to do so. See where it leads you. See where it takes you. If you're being called to go somewhere, I'm not highly recommending travel because we are in a pandemic. But that doesn't mean that you can't try to do your own research and see, okay, I feel like I'm being called here. Let me see what's in store for me here. Let me look and see what businesses are around that is calling. If it feels isolating, seeking a community that shares those common interests. But honestly, I don't even recommend that in this moment. And I don't like to say I recommend, but Spirit is not really urging me that doing this work and diving into this magic is something that you need to be doing with someone else. This is really about you and changing the way that you operate on a spiritual level, changing the way that you operate on an emotional level, and really just being open to grow and knowing that stagnation attracts even more stagnation, and we all have a calling. Spirit is tugging all of us in a certain direction, and it's really just about our willingness to get there. Are we willing to make that temporary sacrifice? Are we willing to cut out those weeds and replant new seeds and actually follow through with them and actually water them on, yes, you say that on Saturday, every Saturday, I'm gonna water my plants. You do it for 3 weeks and then you fall off. This is not about that. This is about saying, okay, I'm committed to doing it and I'm going to make a routine out of it. I'm really feeling like this sense of routine, and a routine that replenishes all aspects of you. So I hope that you receive this message with all of the love. Happy Scorpio season, my loves, and I will see you guys soon.